If I asked you to name the most terrifying psychopath in modern cinema, you'd probably say the Joker, Hannibal Lecter, or maybe Patrick Bateman. And right near the top of that list, you'd put him, Anton Chigurh, the ruthless, unstoppable killer from the Coen Brothers masterpiece, No Country for Old Men. But here is the cold, hard truth. You are wrong. Anton Shagur is not a psychopath. He is not a madman. In fact, he might just be the most intensely rational, deeply principled character ever put on screen. Now, before you click away thinking I'm crazy, listen to me very carefully. By the end of this video, I am going to completely change the way you look at this movie. I am going to reveal the terrifying philosophy behind his iconic coin toss. But more importantly, I am going to explain the real reason behind that sudden, shocking car crash at the end of the film. You know the one, the crash that seems to make absolutely no sense. Well, it makes perfect sense. And when you realize what it actually means, it will chill you to the bone. We will get to that mind-blowing ending in just a few minutes, but first, if you love deep dive movie essays that change how you see cinema, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button right now. Welcome to Scene Atlas. Let's descend into the desert. To understand Anton Chigurh, we first have to unlearn everything we know about movie villains. Usually, a movie villain is driven by one of three things: greed, revenge, or pure unadulterated chaos. Take Heath Ledger's Joker. He is an agent of chaos. He actively wants to tear down the rules of society to prove that everyone is as ugly as he is underneath. The Joker has no rules. Chigurh is the exact opposite. Chigurh is entirely defined by his rules. Look at his weapon of choice, the captive bolt stunner. It's a tool used in slaughterhouses to kill cattle instantly and cleanly before processing. It leaves no bullet casing. It makes almost no sound. It is efficient, brutal, and completely impersonal. To Chigurh, his victims are not enemies. They are just cattle on the processing line of fate. But why does he kill some people and spare others? Remember the accountant in the high-rise building? After Chigurh kills the boss, the accountant asks, "Are you going to shoot me?" Chigurh simply asks, "That depends. Do you see me?" The accountant says no, so Chigurh lets him live. Why? Because the accountant wasn't part of the equation. He wasn't in the game. But wait, if he's not just a random killer, then what exactly is the game? What are the rules he follows so strictly? To answer that, we have to look at the most tense, suffocating scene in the entire movie, the gas station.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? Sir?
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss? This scene is a masterclass in tension, but beneath the surface, it is a masterclass in a philosophical concept called determinism. Determinism is the idea that all events, including human action, are ultimately determined by causes external to the will. Simply put, free will is an illusion, and everything happens because of an unbroken chain of cause and effect. When Chigurh puts that quarter on the counter, he is not playing a game of chance with the gas station proprietor. He is acting as the judge of the universe. Listen to his exact words.
You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Chigurh believes that every single decision this old man has ever made, the day he married his wife, the day he decided to put his father-in-law's store up for scale, what time he woke up that morning, what he ate for breakfast, every tiny, seemingly insignificant choice over his entire life has created a massive, invisible chain reaction. And that chain reaction has led him to this exact second, standing across from a killer with a coin. Chigurh doesn't view himself as a murderer. He views himself as an instrument of causality, an instrument of fate. The coin is merely the final mathematical equation of the man's life. But here is the brilliant trap the Coen Brothers set for us. If you think Chigurh's coin toss is the scariest part of this movie, you are missing the bigger picture. Because what happens when someone finally figures out the rules of his game? What happens when someone looks fate in the eye and refuses to play? Hey, if your mind is already starting to spin, make sure you're subscribed. We do this every week, breaking down the greatest films ever made. Don't miss out. Let's get back into the darkness. Throughout the film, Shagur seems completely invincible. He fixes his own gunshot wounds. He walks through shootouts like a ghost. He outsmarts the cartel, the police, and Llewellyn Moss. But his most revealing interaction isn't with Llewellyn. It's with Carson Wells, the bounty hunter played by Woody Harrelson. Carson Wells is a professional. He knows the system. He knows how the world works, and he thinks he understands Shagur. Wells tries to negotiate. He offers money. He tries to appeal to logic. But Wells makes a fatal flaw. He thinks Shagur operates within the human world of greed and logic. Shagur looks at Wells with almost pity and says, "If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?" This is Shagur's ultimate statement of superiority. He is telling Wells, your human rules, capitalism, greed, survival, are flawed. They got you killed. My rules are cosmic. My rules are perfect. By the time we reach the final act of the film, Shagur has won. He recovered the money. He eliminated his rivals. He survived. He has proven to himself that his philosophy of absolute, unforgiving determinism is the ultimate truth of the universe. He is not a man anymore. He is a god. Until he meets Carla Jean. We are approaching that open loop I promised you at the beginning, the ending that changes everything. But we cannot understand the crash without understanding Carla Jean Moss. Shagur tracks down Llewellyn's widow, Carla Jean, not out of anger, not for money, but because he gave Llewellyn his word that he would kill her if Llewellyn didn't surrender. To Shagur, his word is a cosmic contract. It must be fulfilled to maintain the order of his universe. He sits in her bedroom. He offers her the exact same deal he offered the man at the gas station. He flips the coin. Call it. But Carla Jean does something no one else in the entire movie has done. She looks at the coin. She looks at this unstoppable force of nature, and she says, no, the coin don't have no say. It's just you. In that one sentence, Carla Jean shatters Anton Chigurh's entire reality. She refuses to validate his twisted philosophy. She strips away his delusion that he is an instrument of fate. She forces him to face the reality that he is just an ordinary, evil man making a choice to murder an innocent woman. We don't see the kill. We just see Shagur walk out of the house, carefully checking the soles of his boots for blood. He has completed his task. He has maintained his code. But Carla Jean's words have planted a seed of doubt. The illusion of his perfection is cracked. And then, the universe delivers the punchline. Shagur is driving away. He is obeying the speed limit. He is looking straight ahead. He crosses an intersection on a green light. He is doing everything exactly by the rules. And bam! A car runs a red light and smashes into him, breaking his arm to the bone and leaving him bleeding in the street. For years, audiences have debated this scene. Why include it? It doesn't change the plot. He still gets away. So why did the Coen Brothers put a random car crash at the very end of the movie? Because it is the ultimate destruction of Anton Chigurh's philosophy. Shagur spent the entire movie believing that everything happens for a reason, that every choice leads to a specific outcome, that if you follow the ultimate rules of fate, you are in control. He judged others for their flawed rules. He thought he was the master of destiny, but the car crash is pure, unfiltered, senseless chaos. The teenagers in the other car weren't sent by fate. The driver wasn't part of a 22-year-long chain of causality. It was just a stupid kid who wasn't paying attention to a red light. The Coen Brothers are telling us, and telling Shagur, you are not a god. You are not the hand of fate. You are just a man in a universe that is completely, terrifyingly random. You can have the most perfect code. You can flip all the coins you want, but you cannot control the chaos of existence. The universe does not care about your rules. Shagur limps away into the suburbs, paying off 2 kids for a bloody shirt. He doesn't look like a god of death anymore. He looks like a pathetic, broken man trying to escape a world he realizes he never actually controlled. No Country for Old Men isn't just a thriller about a drug deal gone wrong. It's a philosophical nightmare about our desperate need to find order in a world that has none. Anton Shagur tried to impose his own order, and the universe quite literally crashed into him to prove him wrong. But wait, if Shagur represents the failure to control chaos, what about the protagonist? What about Tommy Lee Jones as Sheriff Ed Tom Bell? Why does the movie end with a retired sheriff talking about his dreams? Well, my friend, that is an entirely different rabbit hole. The story of Sheriff Bell is actually the story of the death of the classic American Western, and it explains the entire meaning behind the movie's title. I break down exactly why Sheriff Bell gave up and what his final dream actually means in this video right here on the screen. screen. If you survived Anton Chigurh, you need to watch this next. Click the video on your screen, make sure you hit subscribe to Scene Atlas, and I will see you over there. Stay curious.